Ned Fulmer is back in the news for his new podcast, Rock Bottom. If you don't already know about Ned, he was one of the four founding members of the online entertainment group, The Try Guys, and he had this massive internet following in part for being a famous wife guy. Meaning he talked a lot about his relationship to his wife, and that was a big part of his online personality that he sold to all of his fans. Then in the fall of 22, when it comes out that he's having an affair with a producer working on his shows, his life goes up in flames. He receives this classic cancellation. He's booted out of the company that he co-founded, and it gets memed up to the point that SNL does a parody of it. So now, after a few years offline, he's back and with a podcast aptly named Rock Bottom because it'll be looking at people in the lowest moments of their lives. And of course, his first guest is his now separated wife, Ariel. I'm fascinated by these cancellation and comeback and redemption stories that we're swimming in these days in the wake of the cancel culture on the internet. The podcast Redemption Tour does seem to be tried and true. Just look at what Armie Hammer is doing with his show. But my interest in the overwhelming strangeness of this moment actually comes from a book that I read over a decade ago. So You've Been Publicly Shamed by Mark Ronson looks at the early days of this era of internet cancellation culture. Like, this is before cancellation was even a buzzword. And beyond examining the stories of some of these people publicly shamed, and he talks about how this sort of public exclusion is nothing new, just something that has come back to us in a new, strange way, thanks again in large part to the internet and social media. I really enjoyed the book when I read it, and again, I think because I got that early exposure to some discourse around how are we doing this and why are we doing this, I continue to be really interested in these stories as they come out and evolve. So although there's plenty of conversations around cancel culture right now, whether that's a former YouTube star trying to stage a comeback or people losing their jobs because of things they say on the internet that other people on other parts of the political spectrum don't like, if you're looking for a way to understand the moment, might I suggest this book? As always, if you have any thoughts on the book or what I'm saying, or if you want to suggest something that I should read on the subject, feel free to let me know in the comments.